Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, folks, here we are. It's your buddy Mike Messier. It's election day in America, November 3rd, 2020. Look, folks, some people are, this is not a foregone conclusion. No matter who you're voting for, I'm one of those jerk-offs that's going to say this, no matter who you're voting for, go to the polls. Even if you go to the ballots, even if you wait in line, even if your employer gives you a hard time, this is essential activity. And I know that for some of us, who vote every 4 years, maybe don't vote on the off presidential years, typically can't take any of this for granted anymore. So if anything has come positive, and I will say this, folks, look, at the end of the day, 50 years from now, 10 years from now, even some people now will say that there are some positive things that came from Donald J. Trump as president. If nothing else, and I'm not saying that there's nothing else, you can make up your own decision, but we know now that you can't take this process for granted and anything can happen. So people that might have slept on 2016, well, don't sleep on this. People that might say, like myself, I wish there was a third-party candidate, make one happen. I may not be the person to organize a third-party system or a third-party that actually has some political weight in this country. I know there are third parties out there already. And from what I understand, the Electoral College is designed to not even allow a third party to even get anywhere. So this whole system needs to be analyzed and perhaps deconstructed and reconstructed in a more fair way. Beyond all that, that's not going to happen today on November 3rd, 2020. What's going to happen today is people are going to vote. Some people are not going to vote because they're already seeing things come in. They're hearing about the long lines, or maybe the lines are not so long, but there's a human factor here, folks. The human factor, which is, well, I tried, or well, I thought about it, or well, it doesn't matter if I vote or not. And I'm going to just, like every other fuckhead that you see today, I want to say, if you're voting for Trump, if you're voting for Biden, if you're voting for third party, regardless of whatever, if you're voting for Jesse Ventura, as my buddy out there is, Carl, you've got to do what's best for you. But at the same time, I do feel that be a part of this process. If it takes you 4 hours, if it takes you 40 minutes, if it takes you 10 minutes, put on your mask, put on your mask, your face shield, and do the voting routine. I'll show you what I see. So I know that some of my friends in other parts of the world are cold and it's shivery. Well, it's not cold and shivery here. It's kind of nice. In other Mike Messier news, I just had a nice conversation with someone about a possible collaboration. I'm not going to say anything more. But things for me, I'm doing more videos about my own life and less, ranting about pro wrestling and even movies. I haven't seen a movie in a couple of weeks. There's some movies playing today, but I kind of want to be near the TV set at all times today to see what happens. Look, this might sound arrogant, but I'm thinking more about myself and less about others at this point. You know what I mean? The state of certain shows that I watch, World Wrestling Entertainment, I haven't watched Raw in a few weeks. It's not getting better, and it won't get better unless they have someone like me running the show. So I'm just going to put an emphasis on my own self, my own projects, my own abilities. My father, I once asked him, and this story might be antiquated now, but I once asked my dad, he always voted the elections, and he followed politics, and I said, hey, Dad, depending on who won the presidency, did it ever affect your own life? And he said very quickly, no. Now, that being said, that might be a different time and a different, his situation might be different than yours. It probably is. But the point is, the sun, regardless of who wins, Biden, Harris, Trump, Pence, whoever wins tomorrow, the sun will come out. We will all be alive tomorrow, hopefully. And, we can't, this is not it might seem this way. It might seem this way, that this is a make it or break it night for whatever, your left wing, your right wing. It's going to be okay. It is. We're going to get through this. Whether your side wins, whether the other side wins, whether you feel threatened by the other side, whether you think the power is shifting in a way that's unbeatable. The human spirit, the American spirit, will get through this thing, and we shall survive, like Gloria Gaynor or Gloria whoever the hell. So the point is, don't get distraught. Yes, we all want this one to win or that one to win, but we have to come together. We have to come together once this thing is over, once this November 3rd is in the books. And will this thing drag out? Some people are telling me, Mike, it's going to drag out for a year. Mike, it's going to drag out for a week. I don't want that to happen. If Trump stays in, if Trump loses, if Biden gets in, if Biden gets in and then he gets a cough and suddenly Kamala Harris is the president, all these possible speculations, whatever happens, we have to look beyond our political differences, and we have to realize, yes, we're all Americans. Yes, we all have to get along with each other. If nothing else, for our own survival. Love thy neighbor, what have you. We can have these political divides, we can have these social divides, but if nothing else, for our own sanity and our own survival as a human species, we must get along. You can't go to war with everybody that you don't agree with, because then eventually they're going to come back on you. So that's my rant, that's my schmaltz, that's my shtick, as it were. And here I am. So I wish you all the best election day possible. I voted early. I'm glad I did, because now I'm avoiding the bullshit and I can relax a little bit. I think in the future I will do this again. I will vote early. I am in a battleground state, so that's very exciting. And so on and so forth. And so on and so forth. Mike Messier with your November 3rd, 2020. It's about noon Eastern Standard Time. And I just had your election day schmaltz. YouTube, Mike Messier channel, AvaloniaFestival.com. Big Avalonia Festival coming up November 7th, regardless of who's the president-elect or the returning president-elect. YouTube, Mike Messier. Subscribe, like the damn videos, so forth. MikeMessier.com. Like everything I do, and so forth. Goodbye.